everybody in Blake Lively's camp was shopping around what they claimed to be HR complaints to various tabloids and publications, namely TMZ, Daily Mail, and the New York Post.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds. Hi. Hey. Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
The celebrities are gossiping about drama amid Baldoni. This publicity stunt last night where they went on SNL and Ryan Reynolds made this silly joke, this really silly joke.
Asking why Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were even
50, it's SNL 50-year anniversary. And or Saturday night, whatever. Ryan Reynolds stands up and she's like, how's it going? He's like, good. Why? What have you heard? And everyone's all, ha, 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 ha.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are officially being shut out by Hollywood's inner circle after their latest PR disaster at the SNL 50th anniversary event. What should have been a glamorous, nostalgia-filled celebration quickly turned into a cringe-worthy disaster when the couple made an uninvited appearance. And let's just say nobody was thrilled. Celebrities, industry insiders, and even fans were left shocked and unimpressed, pushing them further into Hollywood's cold shoulder zone. But here's where things go from bad to catastrophic. This wasn't just a mistimed PR move. It was a full-blown legal fiasco. With Blake Lively deep in a legal battle against Justin Baldoni, this public stunt practically gifted his legal team a golden argument. If she's supposedly in such distress, then why is she grinning for cameras like everything's fine?
Sort of radioactive. In one breath, Blake Lively is saying she was the subject of serious sexual harassment during the filming of It Ends With Us, and now they're making light of it on SNL's 50th reunion show. So tonally, it does seem off, and I can imagine people just wanting to stay away from it. You're going to catch shrapnel if you get involved in this drama at this.
This kind of inconsistency could wreck her credibility in court. And let's be honest, with everything stacking up against her, could Blake Lively actually end up behind bars? The legal war with Baldoni was already brutal, but this SNL stunt, it just poured gasoline on the fire. The world is glued to the drama as these two duke it out in court. But instead of keeping a low profile, Lively and Reynolds decided this was the perfect time to make a grand, look-at-us entrance. It's almost like they were asking for trouble. The lawsuit is already so chaotic, it could be an actual SNL skit. But this real-life spectacle, it's spiraling faster than anyone saw coming. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get more explosive, Ryan Reynolds cracked a joke about the lawsuit right in the middle of the event. The room went dead silent. The internet erupted. And Blake? She looked absolutely blindsided by her own husband's words. It was one of those jaw-dropping moments that leaves everyone staring in disbelief. What was Reynolds even thinking? The backlash was immediate, and now, not only is Lively facing serious legal trouble, but Reynolds may have just poured fuel on the fire for both of them.
I told them that I wasn't in the best place. I told them that I was exhausted, that I haven't given myself time to recover.
The couple casually waltzing onto the SNL 50th anniversary stage in the middle of a raging legal war, that was a next-level risky move. While most people tangled in multi-million-dollar lawsuits and scandalous allegations would be hiding out, keeping quiet, and maybe, just maybe, consulting their lawyers before making jokes, Blake and Ryan had a very different strategy. Their approach? Turned the whole nightmare into a punchline. But instead of getting laughs, they got something much worse, a vicious backlash that's now spiraling out of control. And from a legal standpoint, this could be a disaster for Lively. Baldoni's legal team just got the ultimate weapon handed to them on a silver platter. They can now argue that Lively and Reynolds' decision to join in on a comedy show, especially one that included jokes about the lawsuit, makes it look like they're mocking the entire situation. Does Lively even take her own allegations seriously? That's the question everyone's asking now. And if the court decides she's not as emotionally impacted as she claims, her credibility could collapse instantly. Lively's tone-deaf SNL appearance might just become Exhibit A in proving she isn't the victim she's portraying herself to be. And now, let's talk about the It Ends With Us catastrophe.
Contradictory. I mean, that behavior contradicts your argument that you want a fair trial and you don't want this to play out in the court of public opinion, yet you're standing in front of a room of celebrities on a national television show.
Blake Lively has allegedly insisted that the controversy surrounding the film has caused her severe emotional distress. But let's be honest, this movie has been doomed from the start. Fans have been outraged over the casting choices, claiming the actors don't fit the roles at all. And honestly, they're not wrong. The wardrobe? A disaster. The production? A mess. The entire vision of the film. It's been one big disaster after another. And now, there's yet another explosive accusation against Lively. She's now being accused of causing severe mental distress to director Justin Baldoni. And allegedly, it's wreaking havoc on the entire production. Insiders claim she's flat out refusing to follow directorial instructions, creating a toxic atmosphere on set that's dragging the whole movie down. And as if that wasn't enough, Lively is also drowning in wave after wave of brutal media coverage, placing her smack in the middle of one of Hollywood's biggest controversies. But let's be real, this fallout is entirely her own doing. She was the one who kicked off this PR and media war against Baldoni. At first, it looked like she was winning.
You haven't starts with us, so I'm hoping to see you back in the double duty role.
I think there are better people for that one.
Justin.
I think Blake Lively's ready to direct. That's what I think. So.
She was soaking up the attention, enjoying the public support. But the second things flipped against her, she switched gears and started playing the victim. And now, things are getting even messier. An old interview clip of Lively has resurfaced, and it's not helping her case at all. In the footage, she boldly brags about how she loves to override directors. And now, people are putting two and two together. Was she doing the exact same thing to Baldoni? If this chaos continues, Lively's career won't just be in trouble. It could be completely over. Blake Lively didn't just want to star in the movie, she wanted full control, shaping it exactly the way she wanted. But just when it seemed like this scandal couldn't get any wilder, Justin Baldoni decided to fight back, hard. He just dropped a bombshell in the form of 168 pages of receipts. His website is now a goldmine of leaked raw footage, text messages, and voicemails between him and Lively. And let's just say the truth it reveals, absolutely shocking. The behind-the-scenes clips, combined with Baldoni's raw, emotional interviews, paint a completely different picture than the one Lively has been desperately pushing.
You know, I'm unaware of anybody, frankly, whose wife has been sexually harassed and has made jokes about that type of situation.
The evidence is undeniable. He never could have harassed her. In fact, those who know him insist he doesn't even have it in him to do something like that. From the way he speaks to the way he carries himself, it's crystal clear. He wasn't the villain in this story. And Baldoni isn't just defending himself anymore. He's tearing this entire case apart and exposing it for what it truly is. His website lays everything bare for the world to see, making one thing painfully obvious. The accusations against him hold as much weight as a $3 bill. Hollywood is no stranger to power-hungry predators, the kind who abuse their influence, silence victims with hush money, and operate in the shadows. But Baldoni? His biggest crime was what? Being too nice, giving too many opportunities, smiling too much. It's almost comical. A man is being labeled a monster for not being one in an industry filled with them. And now, Hollywood and the public are finally seeing through Blake Lively's carefully crafted persona. The once beloved actress, known for her wholesome Instagram baking and her picture-perfect wife image, is now being exposed as a career assassin. And standing right beside her in this mess, Ryan Reynolds, Hollywood's so-called lovable goofball, the king of internet memes, who might actually be the mastermind behind the scenes. The perfect PR couple, more like a power-hungry duo, pulling Machiavellian strings to protect their empire. The fallout has been brutal. Hollywood A-listers are distancing themselves from Lively. Celebrities are quietly unfollowing her on Instagram. And then comes the most devastating blow. Colleen Hoover, the very author of It Ends With Us, along with other major feminists, has officially cut ties with Lively. Just scroll through Hoover's Instagram. Not a single trace of Lively or Reynolds remains. The erasure is deafening. Hollywood has made its choice. Blake Lively is done. After facing a tidal wave of backlash, Blake Lively is flipping the script, going from Hollywood power player to suddenly playing the damsel in distress. Now, she's claiming that the relentless media scrutiny and the brutal lawsuit have pushed her to the brink of emotional collapse. And honestly, who wouldn't be stressed when staring down a $400 million defamation lawsuit? But Baldoni isn't just fighting back, he's going for the jugular. And by the looks of it, he's winning. So, of course, Lively is feeling the pressure. But here's where things get messy. She's telling the world she's being harassed by Baldoni, his legal team, and even fans. She's reframing herself as the victim, claiming this entire situation has left her completely overwhelmed. But wait a second. If she's truly so distraught that she can barely function, then why was she front and center at Saturday Night Live's biggest event? That's the burning question everyone is asking. Think about it. Someone genuinely suffering from severe emotional distress doesn't just waltz into a star-studded event, acting like nothing's wrong. They don't strut down the red carpet in full glam, grinning for cameras. They don't mingle with A-listers, cracking jokes, and living it up at one of the biggest televised celebrations of the year. Yet there she was, doing exactly that. And now, Brian Friedman is calling her out hard. He's not holding back, slamming both Lively and Ryan for their tone-deaf behavior at SNL. And he didn't just hint at the problem, he spelled it out loud and clear. Ryan's badly timed joke about the lawsuit? A disaster. And Friedman isn't letting it slide. He's asking the question everyone's thinking. If Blake Lively was truly traumatized, would she be on live television, making light of everything? Most people under that kind of stress would be holed up in legal meetings, scrambling for damage control, not smiling for cameras, laughing with comedians, and rubbing elbows with Hollywood's elite. Let's be real. If you're filing lawsuits claiming severe emotional distress, it definitely helps if you at least look distressed. But instead, Blake and Ryan put on a full-blown performance at one of the biggest entertainment events of the year, laughing, whispering, giggling, looking completely unbothered. The optics? Absolutely terrible. And let's not forget, Ryan Reynolds' involvement makes this even worse. He's not just some clueless husband tagging along for a fun night out. He's a PR mastermind who knows exactly how to spin a narrative. Nothing he does is random. So this wasn't just a casual date night. It was a calculated move. But instead of helping Blake's case, his presence is making her accusations look even less believable. Ryan Reynolds' entire brand is built on comedy and carefully calculated PR stunts. So if he's standing right beside Blake, cracking jokes while she claims to be suffering, how serious can her case really be? Blake Lively has her famous husband standing firmly by her side, backing her every move. But Justin Baldoni? He's completely alone in this fight. Unlike Lively, who has powerful Hollywood connections and a meticulously crafted public image, Baldoni doesn't have the same industry muscle behind him. He's not a major Hollywood heavyweight. And in this ruthless business, that means he's fighting an uphill battle alone. During a recent interview where Brian Friedman ripped into Lively and Reynolds for their tone-deaf SNL stunt, the host brought up Baldoni's recent vacation. But Friedman didn't frame it as a luxurious getaway. He painted a picture of a man desperately seeking peace, trying to escape the crushing weight of the false accusations against him. And here's the contrast that's impossible to ignore. While Lively is out smiling for cameras, Baldoni has stepped away from the Hollywood chaos. He's removed himself from the drama to be with his family, and people are taking notice. This difference couldn't be clearer. While Lively and Reynolds are soaking up the limelight, Baldoni is isolating himself, prioritizing his mental health, and showing the world that he's truly struggling. And guess what? Hollywood insiders see this, and it's making him a more sympathetic and far more credible figure. The longer Baldoni stays out of the spotlight, the worse Lively's case looks. And then there's the jury factor. If this case ever goes to trial, Baldoni's lawyers have a golden opportunity. They can argue that Lively and Reynolds aren't actually interested in proving anything in court. They're just playing the celebrity victim card. Instead of focusing on the legal battle, they're staging PR stunts, spinning the media, and doing everything they can to control the public narrative. This isn't about justice, it's about image. And here's the thing, juries hate feeling manipulated. Now let's talk about timing. While Blake Lively was strutting onto the SNL stage, glammed up, cracking jokes, and acting like nothing was wrong, Baldoni was reportedly in Hawaii, seeking solace with his family. Now, picture that contrast. One person dodging paparazzi, trying to hold his life together, quietly retreating from the world. The other, basking under the studio lights, laughing and joking for millions to see. Which one looks like they're actually struggling? Which one seems like they're genuinely affected by what's happening? That's the question people are asking. And the answer? It's not looking good for Blake Lively. Which one looks like they're actually telling the truth? If Lively's legal team was trying to paint her as a fragile, isolated victim, her high-profile night out at SNL's 50th anniversary event just destroyed that entire narrative. On the other side of the coin, Justin Baldoni's quiet retreat with his family in Hawaii is only making his case stronger. If his legal team wants to weaponize this SNL debacle against Lively, they'll likely demand every single piece of footage from the event, including behind-the-scenes interactions. And when that happens, Lively's credibility could take a serious hit. And the rumors? They're already swirling. Blake and Ryan weren't just there for a quick appearance. Sources claim they stayed long after the event ended, mingling with A-listers for at least an hour. Sure, fans cheered their presence, but behind closed doors, the whispers were endless. Even Dakota Johnson was reportedly seen having a great time with the couple. Lively and Reynolds were spotted snapping selfies, laughing with fellow actors, and acting like everything was completely fine. And if Baldoni's name came up, Lively and Ryan reportedly just joked about the whole thing on camera. And here's where the contradictions start stacking up. Lively has publicly claimed she's so emotionally distressed by this legal war and Hollywood drama that she can barely leave her house. But guess what? Not only did Blake show up to a massive A-list event, but she even skipped the after party and left with Paul McCartney. Does that sound like someone crippled by anxiety? And now, on top of the media footage, Brian Friedman could easily demand social media evidence. Every interaction, every post, every single thing that proves Lively was actively engaging with the public before, during, and after the event. And the worst part? There's plenty of it. Blake and Ryan weren't even trying to be subtle. They knew the cameras were on them, yet they carried on like it was just another fun night in Hollywood. And if that wasn't bad enough, Brian could bring in expert testimony to completely dismantle Lively's emotional distress claims. A psychologist or media analyst could testify that her entire public persona contradicts her legal narrative. How can she claim to be so traumatized by the backlash over It Ends With Us, but still be perfectly fine partying at SNL? How can she claim she's too emotionally fragile to handle criticism, yet still have the energy to network and joke around at a high-profile event? It screams hypocrisy. And let's not forget the bigger problem. This isn't just a disastrous legal misstep. So what do you think? Will Lively and Reynolds find a way to spin their way out of this mess? Or is this the beginning of their Hollywood downfall? Drop a comment below, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more updates on this wild saga. You won't want to miss what happens next. See you in the next one.